Hey everyone, this is Umesh from PostPixel. I'm joined here by actually one of my favorite clients. Her name is Anna. Anna, if you can quickly introduce yourself.
Sure. My name's Anna. I work for Interset, which is a security analytics company. We're a startup, and I've asked Umesh for some great help for creating videos to try to explain what our technology does.
Yeah, awesome. So, me and you, we actually spoke, I think it was about 2, 3 months ago, and you weren't looking for one animation video, you're looking for five explainer videos. If you
Yes.
can talk us a bit through what specifically you guys were looking for, because I know you guys in particular had a very specific specification in place when it comes to the script and how you want it to look. Why don't you tell us a bit about how you found us and what the intention was there?
Um, sure. Well, so we were looking for a video firm to help us produce a set of videos that would help explain our technology in really bite-sized pieces. I honestly don't believe anybody pays attention to anything that's very long. So 1 minute or less, and a series is what we wanted to create on different topics. And our goal was to create educational content for both our sales team to help them enable themselves to understand more about our product and our technology, and also for our customers. So something that can be used on social media. So it had to be professional looking and clean and attractive. Obviously have our branding on it, and also be usable for multiple customers and audiences, and also possibly for our partner customers as well.
Yeah. So what was because obviously I'm guessing you spoke to a few other companies, and I think we found you through Upwork. What
Yes.
was the process like? Because I know that if I recall correctly, that you spoke or even you've worked with other animation companies in the past. How's your
Correct.
experience been with previous animation companies, and how did you end up choosing us to work with?
Yeah, good question. Actually, I think a lot of it was you. You reached out. There's a few other people that reached out and sent their samples of their videos, and the samples of their videos were not clean. They were very cluttered, and I didn't like that style. For some people, that does work for what they're trying to do, but for me, I really wanted to focus on the subject at hand and not have any other distractions in the background, or too much color, or too many things going on. I'm not looking for an animated cartoon that you would watch on TV. I'm looking for a very focused animation on what our technology brings. So very focused and very clean. And that really helped. In terms of other video firms that I worked with, I have worked with others in the past, and I understand the process really well. And you guys worked really well with that in terms of, here's a script, here's what we wanted to develop. I was actually very impressed with your ability to create video content from a visual perspective with just the script, because other places what I've had to do is draw it for them, and even then I
Oh
actually had
wow.
to draw the specific animation for them. So that was a little bit painful. So I appreciate working with your team that we could do that. It also depends, right? Sometimes it just depends on what kind of designers you have and how their brains think and how well the script is written. And then obviously there's a response factor and a customer service factor that we appreciate.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and it's very tricky because you're doing five videos. You've got a very specific plan in place as to how you want it to look. What's like the main, I guess, concern or problem you have in place when you're looking to find someone that can put what you've got in your head onto an actual visualization of an animation video? What was like the main concern you had, or what was the main or most important thing that you're looking for when it came to finding a company to work with?
Yeah, there's a couple criteria. Obviously, the ability to understand technology at least a bit, so that having some experience with technology helps be able to explain new technology. So that helps somebody who's never done a B2B or a technology type of explainer video has a very hard time figuring out how to do what we would need unless I draw it for them, which is also very frustrating and time consuming.
Yeah.
I'm not a good illustrator, so having somebody who has a team who has experience with that helps. Along with that actually is also the ability to visualize just something that's attractive and modern. There's ability to draw things in many different ways. Artistic style is, there's infinite options, but how do you choose something that's appealing to a modern audience, that's going to look modern and going to last for at least a couple years, because I'm not producing these videos just for 2 weeks. I want to be able to use them and promote them and reuse them for the next 2 years. So it has to look something clean, and that's something that is not exactly malleable, but at least fits into multiple different places, locations, so it can be used on a website and social media, and it can be used repeatedly over and look fresh all the time.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. You don't want a video, and that's one of the things I always talk about when I take on clients, that at the end of the day, we all know these statistics about, oh, video is the main thing when it comes to business.
Mhm.
I think I saw a statistic the other day, which was 75% of all internet traffic in 2018 is video.
Yes.
But the common misconception that people have is any old video works. You guys obviously developed your own script in place. Let's rewind back prior to when you had that video done. So before you even had a video in place,
Okay.
what was like the concerns or what was the problems that you guys had that you felt a video would address and tackle head on?
Oh, I see. Yeah, actually, our technology is very complicated. And even
Yeah,
for our sales team and our sales engineers, it takes a significant period for them to ramp up. And every explanation they have comes from a different person, and it comes in a different package, and it comes with different words. And to try to get everybody on the same page has been very difficult, because what we do is, first of all, new and unique, and also new to the audience. So the audience doesn't know what to expect, and the technology itself is new. So trying to marry two sets of new things together makes it really hard to explain succinctly. And creating a video really forces everybody to be on the same page, to have a common dialogue that you could not have had before. And that was definitely a big problem that we had, in terms of how do we explain what our company does? How do we explain our value proposition? How do we discuss what we do? And how do we just, even the elevator pitch was,
yeah,
there's multiple lines and no consistency. So
yeah.
creating the best words and extracting from the experts that we have and putting it into a video really helped the entire team understand what we do and be able to articulate it much better.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, we work a lot when it comes to technology companies, IT companies, blockchain companies, and all of them have like a bunch of technical jargon, which
Yes.
let's face it, not many people know what they mean when you
No.
hear it on paper. And I visit so many websites and they all say these complicated words with paragraphs of text. And I'm just thinking like, maybe to you guys it makes sense, but does your target customer or the people that you're communicating this to, does it actually make
Right.
sense to them?
Exactly.
And so obviously you guys had 5 different videos. Can you explain a bit about what those 5 different videos tackled as opposed to
Sure.
doing one whole video? What was the reasoning behind 5 instead of 1?
Yeah, 5 videos allows us to actually talk about different subject matters, because I think, again, people don't pay attention for very long. It also forces very succinct communication and to be forced clarity in a really extreme way, which really helps. There's 2 audiences for us. There's our customer audience and also our sales and our enablement audience. And our customer audience comes from a background where they understand their world, which is security, and they're trying to match it with the technology world that we come from, which is machine learning and AI and analytics. And trying to merge 2 different universes together doesn't make it easy for 2 teams. And so they're designed to be translation videos, essentially, between one world and another. And there's different aspects on that. There's a basic educational video on what is machine learning about. That's super basic, rudimentary, which is a broad audience. And then it gets increasingly more specific in terms of how that technology is applied, how you can use it, what's the value prop, how that becomes something that's valuable, and then finally to the value prop of our company itself, of our product itself. So that's kind of like the journey from the very beginning, from a very, essentially the
Yeah.
beginning of the funnel to the end of the funnel. So it's 5 sets of
Okay.
videos that help you traverse the journey along the way. And then the salespeople can use that to engage with prospects and engage with customers to try to move them along the way. And then
Yeah.
it also allows people to understand where we're going without having to have, you know, to have it, I would call this like a deluge of information all at once, which is just too
Yeah.
much to handle. It also ties for SEO. Individual videos help us for
Oh, yeah.
SEO as well, for promotion on our web pages and things like that. And obviously for social media for promotion. One video is hard. I would end up clipping into multiple pieces anyways. Like a 5-chapter video is difficult. A multiple set of videos is a lot easier to use and promote
Yeah.
and leverage for our company.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. So you've got kind of a multi-purpose of videos. It's not necessarily just explaining something. It's not necessarily just educating people, but it's also the sales aspect to use inside your sales funnel, generate more leads. Maybe you've got frequently asked questions that people always ask you, what does this mean? Or what do you guys do? Or I don't know, do you guys do this? And you can just say, hey, check out this quick 1-minute video. They can look at it. It's even got subtitles on there and it
Yes.
explains specifically what you guys are on about. So how are you guys, with each of the 5 videos, how are you guys implementing it into your actual funnel? Is it going on the website or is it being on social media platforms?
Yeah, actually, so all sorts of things. We are promoting them on social media, piece by piece, depending as different topics go by. We just had our major industry conference, a security conference last week. And so we use the videos in our booth. So that was also within an exhibit hall, which is also a different usage. But I expect to use that because passerbys are going to walk by for 30 seconds. They need to see something moving, and the subtitles are critical for that to get the message across, because you can't play the video with audio in an exhibition hall with like 20,000 other people. It's insane. So subtitling is critical for that kind of situation. So it's being used on that. And then people come to the booth. We use it as a fulfillment piece to say, hey, you know, you came and saw us. Here's one next level deeper, because it is from beginning to the funnel to the end of funnel. We have something that we can share with them. We're also using it on our website on multiple web pages. I'm trying to have, because the videos were pre-selected by topic to be quite associated with our actual SEO keyword topics that we want to have. So there's a very strong correlation. So ideally right now, I'm still building them, but it's a web page per video on that topic. Right. And then there's a video and there's a bunch of content. And, you know, there's other things that go with it, right? Obviously white papers and blogs and everything like that, but it's part of an integral experience when you come to our website. So that's a way to actually promote that page and improve the SEO as well. And then the social aspect for driving business, actually. And our sales guys have actually been emailing it themselves to individual prospects and customers to help engage their customers. Because what we do as a company, we're trying to define a new market, and trying to define what we do is very nebulous. And so the video gives people an understanding. Okay, this is what you're about. This is what we care about, because they don't have a frame of reference at all. The security industry has probably, I would say, 200 different types of products, or maybe not that many, but categories. Maybe there's like 20 categories of products. We don't fit any of those categories. So we have to explain what the category is. And having a video really helps people understand that, oh, okay, we understand what you fit now or what you're trying to do. So I can have a frame of reference, because nobody can understand anything without a frame of reference.
Right. So it's helped your sales guys out a lot, right?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So going back to, I guess, the process of working with us. So obviously it's five videos. So the project would have taken longer than just one video. How was your experience working with us from the very start when you sent us a script to how we responded in turning around a video for it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was surprised, actually, because we did not do a lot of real-time communications during the process. I was a little bit surprised by that, but it worked out okay. So I was able to document it each time. You would send a video over, and I would be able to send you. Oh, let's back up for a minute. Back up from the beginning, from the script part. I didn't really need too much help with scripts. I know how to write a script. I have good writers on my team. And our CTO actually weighed in on what's the best way to say something. He's also a good speaker and orator himself. Yeah. So we were very clear from the very beginning. So I didn't use your script services, which other companies might have, which does take a long time sometimes. I do, right? That can take a long time out of the process. Now, after that, when we provided the scripts, the recording, first thing is always the recording. And it was nice to have a selection of different voices available for the different type of tones and styles. And then pronunciation was a couple headaches, but we got through it. So we did a couple sets of that. And then the animation itself. And like again I said earlier, I'm impressed that your team's ability to be able to create animation raw from just the script without any, I provided minimal visuals. I gave you kind of an outline. This is kind of what I want to do. But what turned out was much better, and certainly not what I had asked for, like specifically. It wouldn't, I was like, this is the concept. I can't draw. And what you guys produce really helped people get the point across. People are like, oh, I get it. The visuals help me understand it. That's the feedback I've been getting from the internal team. Oh, I understand now. So that really means we got the point across. And then the process of a couple of reviews. A couple of them were more complicated, obviously, but definitely having a written document, a Google Doc that we could share. Hey, this is the exact screen at 29 seconds, and this is the copy that needs to be fixed, or this is the animation that needs to be adjusted, or this is the colors that need to be changed. And your team was able to do those things without like super, I would say, sometimes you have to micromanage it and say, hey, this color on this didn't work. Yeah, and I didn't have to do that. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah. I think what helped with us was the very specific and consolidated feedback we got. Obviously, you had your Google document. You even had a table where you'd say, okay, for this specific scene on second number 9, please can we change this? And I think it makes the whole communication so much more easier for both us and our team. And it's good to see that especially a 5 video project, which is a large project. You guys have your own ideas in your head that you've got on your script. The
Mhm.
scariest part, I presume, must have been whether we actually present what you got in your head or on the script,
Yes.
actually visualizing it correctly,
Uh-huh.
because it could
Definitely.
go horribly wrong, especially
It
for a
could be.
technology company.
Exactly. And that's what I experienced a couple places in the past where I have it's been more expensive and I've had to like draw it for them. And it
Wow.
also depends on the type of video as well, right? But and the subject matter, obviously. But yeah, I have
Yeah.
to say I was impressed and the team is happy. So if the team is happy, then
Yeah, I believe
that's plenty.
initially you guys were initially looking for a whiteboard animation, and we said,
Yes,
"Oh, we think this will be
that's not
much
good.
better." Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I totally get it. I appreciate your weighing in on advising that because I wouldn't have realized that, and
Mhm.
so it was better in the end.
Okay, interesting. Um, so now we really only just finished the project about I think it's been about a couple of weeks now, maybe even a
Yeah,
month.
I think
Um,
so.
in that short span of time, I mean, what kind of response have you gotten? Not just from your team, but from your customers or people that you sent out to. How much has it improved your overall process?
Yeah, it's hard to measure. Our sales cycle is really long. So I haven't got too much feedback from, I would say, direct customers and prospects. Definitely our executive team was very happy because they've been looking for something like this for a long time. And they have been actually struggling to articulate our story for probably a year and a half now. So to finally have something that helps them articulate the story, they're very happy with from that perspective. Our sales guys are excited about them. They think they can use it and they have been selling it to customers, but I haven't heard from what the customer specific feedback is. I do know from people who walked past the videos at the show last week when we just did it in the exhibit hall.
Yeah.
Obviously, no sound, right? So no sound. They don't have any idea what the music in the background or the voice over anything like that. But just by looking at the animation, I could see people stop and look at it, and then they're kind of like, okay, and then they can engage and ask questions. So they're willing to take a look. It catches their eye and they're willing to have a conversation with us, which is much better than just ignoring us altogether, which is very
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Um, so that's kind of the feedback that I have. Internally, our product management team, who's also been trying to articulate, is honestly raving about it. He's like super excited because he's been here for 4 years and he's
Yeah.
been trying to explain what we do to customers for 4 years. And he's like, this is so much better than anything that we've had.
Finally.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
So he's like at the finally stage. Exactly. So that's internal. I don't have the external in yet, but in a few
Mhm.
weeks or in a few months, we'll know more.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I remember you sent me an email actually during when we finished one of the videos, and you like just showing it to my team. They're over the moon, over the moon. It feels like we've been waiting a long time for this, and it's always good
Yes.
to hear that sort of feedback, because one thing I said to you when we first got on the phone about 3 months ago was, I'm not interested in just producing any old video. I want to get a video that's actually going to bring you results. And in order for us to do that, we really need to understand the core of who you guys are. Like,
Right.
why should someone go to you instead of your competitors, for example? But let's say someone calls you up. Let's say I've got someone that's interested in working with us, and someone calls you up and says, "Hey, why should you work with Umesh and Postpixel?" What would be like
Yes.
the gist of what you'd say to them?
Yeah, I would tell them you're a great team to work with. Actually, I think I already referred you to one of our partners. One of our partners actually was very excited when they saw the videos. They're like, "Oh, can we just take this and rebrand it?" And I'm like, "Sure, whatever you want." That's part of my marketing program. I do not have enough money to create content that's going to reach every corner that I need to reach. And our partners are designed to help us do that. And if they can take something that I've created and just modify it slightly, maybe change the colors and change the logo at the beginning and run with it. And that's what I heard what they want to do. That's perfect because they're going to have a far wider reach, and then they're going to be able to carry it a lot further and into a lot more audiences, broader audiences than I can. So yeah, I recommended you for that. I'm not sure if they followed up with you. I think they did. And then as we bring more customers and partners, definitely I would recommend you for the next level. And also working together, we know how to work together, right? The first
Yeah,
time is always scary and always difficult, and you don't know. And the experience can be, I want to do that again, or I will never
yeah,
do that again,
yeah. Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, and
Yes.
it helps. It helps because I think we both knew how we worked quite instantly, and the chemistry was there. I understood what to expect when I sent you a deliverable, and you understood what to expect when it came to giving us feedback. And that's what really helped get the project done in a nice, efficient way, and obviously getting you guys the end result, which is what you wanted. So yeah, that's amazing. Finally, I guess to summarize, what would be let's say you describe us in one word or describe the whole entire project in one word, what
Okay.
would that word be?
I don't know how to describe the project. Let me think about that for a minute. For describing working with your team, I would say definitely like as advertised, professional video explainer company. That's clearly what you are capable of and what we benefit from. And that's exactly what we needed. I would say there's a little bit more to that in terms of your working style, your responsiveness, your abilities team to interpret the tech into a way that's palatable. That's definitely, I would say, distinctive from everybody else. That's different. For the project itself, I guess it's mostly similar. I don't have anything specific for
Yeah.
the project that I could think of, but it went smoothly. We got it done. There was times when I asked you, hey, I need you to speed up on this because I really need it for an event coming up, and your team was able to do that. I do really appreciate the ability to, hey, sometimes we need to do a faster turnaround.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can do the normal work day, but sometimes things come up. And being a startup, your flexibility is appreciated for that kind of response time as a client, or me as your client.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Anna, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to shoot this quick interview with us. I mean, finally, thanks a lot. And if you guys are interested in explaining video, go ahead and book a call with us. We like to talk with you guys before even deciding anything, because if you really want someone to do your creative stuff, they need to understand who you guys are. So thanks a lot, Anna, for hopping on this call, and I'll see you actually probably sometime soon.
That's probably true.
Yeah.